guys, we are here with Kodak this afternoon. I wanted to start filming right away when I got Kodak out of his crate. We haven't done any lessons today yet. We haven't done any play times. So this is just full-on Kodak when he comes out of his crate. He's bouncing around, he's a young puppy. He's big. Just because he's big does not mean he is not still a puppy. So what I really want to show you is how you need to really address him to get him to pay attention and to focus, okay? So without kind of saying too much, I'm just going to show you, okay? Good. So popped the leash right there. Notice how he's looking at me like, oh, okay. He's poking my hand, right? He's just being hyper, which is normal, okay? Good. This is the kind of behavior I want him to display right now, which is just his normal, like when he gets all worked up, like how do you work through this, right? So don't let him pull you, right? Pops. If he tries to pick things up, you say off, sit, right? So even just doing sit, okay, sit, okay, sit, okay, okay, sit, okay, sit. See how when I release him, he's like going bananas, but when he sits, he's being kind of respectful and just kind of calm. When he's in free mode, okay. Right? He thinks he can just do whatever. Now watch the difference in how I release him as well. Ready? Okay! Yes, good job, right? Really excited, and look how excited he got. We're going to watch the difference in this one. And just going to adjust his leash. Okay. Right, so I released him. I said, okay, gently, and I also used my leash to give him a little pop. Now, he's still clearly way ahead of me. Now, granted, I did not ask him to do a heel right now. I simply said okay, which means he does not need to be right by me. If I had said heel, then yes, his nose shouldn't have passed my feet. Okay. Right, so right there, okay, right off the bat, as soon as I release him from his sit position and I say okay, watch the leash, right? Okay. Right, so a pop on the leash now means calm down. Right? Pay attention. Calm down. A full-on stop. Go into a calmer state of mind. Right? Which you can clearly see he's doing. Now, positioning of your leash is super duper important. Okay? You're going to see a major difference in both dogs, in Kodak and in Pongo, when you have your leash positioned properly. If it is too low, it's just applying pressure on his throat, on his trachea, and that is not what we're looking for. We're actually looking to apply pressure to the pressure points in his skull to relay to him, calm down, by using pressure points. Now he also smelt that I have hot dogs in my pocket, so he was all distracted by that. Okay. Off. But right off the bat, as soon as you release him, you need to be the one to tell him what's appropriate, okay? That's really important. Off. As soon as he does something that's not appropriate, whether it be trying to pick up something that's not his, getting too up in Pongo's face, counter surfing, anything that you would say no to him for is now off. Off, okay? Leash biting. But notice as soon as I said off, he was like, oh, okay. Because he respects me as a handler at this point, that he knows that I have follow through. So if I tell him off, it's not a, do you feel like doing it this time? It's, you're going to stop doing it this time. And how do I do that? In the beginning, while we're in training, your leash. That is how you're going to communicate with him. Now, if you have an e-collar, which we are doing some e-collar work with him, that is also another way that you'll be able to communicate with him when you don't have a leash on him in the house. And it's just that. It's a way to give you a pop, like just like that, but doing it without a leash, right? So if I need to say Kodak and he doesn't pay attention without a leash, you can use your button to say Kodak. And right now it's off. Okay, so all that jumping around and bouncing around. If I get worked up, he is going to get more worked up. He doesn't understand the words that we're saying. He understands the tone. And actually, when you get stressed out, your dog is actually trying to like calm you down or make you laugh, or right, or they're mimicking your energy. So if your energy isn't calm, his energy isn't going to be calm. So when he starts going crazy like that, you have to show him, no, we're not doing that. We're going to be calm right now. Okay? If you show him that, he'll be a lot more respectful of you. Off every time. Come on, buddy. Every time you say, Kodak. Now, when you're also out on walks, you're going to be able to use his transitional, which you've seen in other videos, which is where it goes around his nose. I'm going to put that on him in just a second. We're going to go take a walk up the road and possibly over to the school and take a nice little stroll together today. Well, it's finally not raining out. Heel. So I said heel on that one, and he had to stay with me. Now, right there, he's not looking, right? He was sniffing the ground. He's not paying attention. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm not going to rely on my leash to do my work. I'm going to do the work. And I do that by turning. Off. Right? So turns. Kodak, heel. So all of that is him just trying to do avoidance tactics. Maybe if I bite at the leash, maybe if I go in circles, maybe if I, jump up at her, right? He's trying to figure out other ways. Off. So I'm going to take that distraction off. So I had another leash on my neck, which kept dangling. Anything like dangling like that. Think about like when you play with a rope toy with your dog. What do? You dangle it in front of his face until he gets excited and jumps at it, right? I mean, we've taught our dog that, and that's, appropriate, that there's a rope in your face, he's supposed to jump and play at it. So instead of doing things like this where he looks up and you do this, watch, as soon as I put this over his head, what's he going to try and do? Play with the leash, right? So we don't want to do that. You want to learn how to position your leash. It's not all about your leash doing your work. It's about getting Kodak to respond to you and focus on you as a handler. That's where he's going to respect you. It's all good if he can respect a leash, but that's, the leash didn't pay for this program. You did. Off. So get your dog to respect you. Off. So all the nipping is just him just trying to be playful. Again, he's a puppy, but he needs to know as soon as teeth touch skin, I give a correction. So right there, I was able to just say off, and he stopped, which is great. Give him something else to think about with his brain. Clearly, he's excited. Like I said, we started recording as soon as I took him out of his crate. We haven't done any playtime. We haven't done any lessons yet today. This is full energy Kodak when we first came out. So it's possible to get him to just calm down and relax on a walk if you give him that structure and something to follow. If you just go in a straight line and expect him to just be good, you're not going to see the results. You have to do things to get him to pay attention, right? I'm going to turn. Left-hand turns are great because you bump into him. See, it forces him to pay attention. Right-hand turns are good because it's good for you as a handler to learn to not use your leash to get your dog to pay attention. Notice I just clicked my tongue right there. Kodak, good. Yeah. So this is using like no leash, Kodak. Good. So he's not paying attention to me. So what do I need to do? Change it up. Make him pay attention. We can't just expect him to just, hey, you're not paying attention. Look at me. Just keep popping, popping, popping. That's not going to work, right? Change up your pace. Kodak. Yes, good boy. Sit. Make him think. Make him work. Make him do something for you. Going on a heel it's great because you are getting mental exercise and physical exercise, as opposed to if you just go and take him for a walk any other day, he's just pulling you. He's strictly getting physical exercise. He's getting no mental stimulation in that walk. So we already know mental stimulation. Kodak. Good boy. We already know mental stimulation is what tires your dog out more than anything. If you rely on physical exercise to wear your dog out, you're building an athlete. You're building stamina, and he's going to eventually need more exercise and more time to get to that same level of exhaustion. But if you use his brain, you can still do new things every time, and 15 minutes worth of work is going to wear him out. So if you rely on, when you go on a walk, doing things. Look, we haven't even left my circle here, right? I live in a cul-de-sac. I don't even need to leave my circle. I can wear a dog out just by going around in a circle, making left turns, making right turns, making my dog pay attention. Off. Heel. So the playfulness and the leash biting will probably be your biggest thing. Off. Because it's avoidance. Like I said, he's trying to, I don't want to follow the rules right now. I want to do what I want. And we're going to go do playtime in just a minute. That's probably going to be one of your harder things that you're going to deal with. The fact that I have other dogs that he can go and play with and get some of that dog on dog energy out is really, really helpful, especially with a big hyper social puppy. He's going to want to try and play with Pongo, and that's going to be up to you, especially in the beginning when he comes home, to tell him that, like, Pongo's basically off limits. That's going to be the easiest way. You're not going to get them to be best buds where they're going to hang out and, play ball together. It's just not Pongo's personality, as you know. The easiest way for you to do it is kind of just thinking of it like Pongo is like a garbage can where it's just off limits. You're not even allowed to, go and hang, sniff him, and that's just going to stress him out. If you're going to let him sniff him, you're going to have to do it with a leash on and make sure that you have control over the situation and you go nice and smooth and steady and, make it quick. So we have a delivery driver. This is good. We're just going to go over here. Sit. Stay. Okay, so this is reinforcing calm behavior. Kodak. Good boy. That's good. Yeah. So rather than just basking in the distraction, I'm going to start moving with him. Give him something else to think about rather than the distraction. So right there, as soon as he tried to kind of pull me, he saw him, he got excited. That was the exact moment that I said, no, you're not going to start that. The only thing that's going to happen is it's going to get worse if you let him do that. So right now, see how the difference in his eyes, in the just the structure of his head, he was clearly not looking at me. He's looking at the delivery driver. So what do we need to do to get his attention back? Do something different, change direction, say his name, pat your leg, click your tongue, whistle at him, use a treat. There's so many things you can do to get your dog's attention. And that's what you need to do. Stop behaviors before they progress. You want to stop it right when it starts. And that goes for barking, or like I said, with garbage cans, the second he walks over to the garbage can, there's no reason you even need to smell it. There's nothing positive is going to result in that, right? So he's not some drug-sniffing dog or anything like that, then you're doing a task with him where he's supposed to sniff the garbage or anything. So just make that off limits, As soon as the behavior starts, stop it right there. As soon as he's sniffing up at the counter, like you have a piece of chicken on the counter and he's sniffing at it, right? That's where I would stop it. Nope, stop. Like, nope, you don't get to do that. Off. Right? So these are all the kind of things that your handling skills are going to be a huge, huge, huge key to how his training, progresses at home. If you continue to just treat him the way that you did before he came to training, where it was basically do what you want to do, and when you do something I don't like, I'm going to correct it. That's not going to work, okay? You have to be the one to guide him and say, this is what I do want you to do. This is what you are allowed to do. And then if he starts to make a mistake, you can say, no, you're not going to do that. And you're going to stop it before it progresses. So those are the kind of things I want you to practice at home with him. We are going to, like I said, I'm going to put his transitional on, and we're going to go up the street a little bit to a little bit more distracting setting, and work on some more difficult things with him. So if you have any questions, let me know, and we will set up their take-home lesson soon. So hope everyone has a good weekend. And if anyone needs help with their dogs, give us a call today. We'd be happy to help you like we are with Kodak. Have a good one.